Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Ho, ho, ho! Welcome to this very special holiday edition of the Sports Trapp Podcast. I'm your boy, Christopher Rodriguez, a.k.a. the elf, on the shelf. And next to me,
I like that.
Next to me, the man who continues to gift us with this incredible podcast, Santa Khoa.
Santa Khoa.
How you doing, brother? How you doing?
I like that one. Ho, ho, ho to you yourself, brother.
Yes, the elf on the shelf says hello. And certainly, last but not least, the man of the hour, the man who continues to lead this podcast, the host with the most, John, the red-nosed reindeer, Trapp. Shine, brother, shine. Lead us to the promised land.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is the Sports Trapp Podcast, and my name is John Trapp. Once again, Khoa to my right, and on the other side, the elf on the shelf, Mr. C-Rod, Christopher Rodriguez.
Can I change that real fast?
What does that even mean?
I want to be the elf on your mama's shelf.
Oh, hold up.
Yeah.
Wait, what part of her is the shelf? Hold on.
You sound like
Hold on.
The bra shelf. Bra and panty shelf.
The front shelf. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know,
The
man. You sound
credenza.
like a present.
Oh, I'm a present that keeps giving, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need batteries with that?
Never. I just need 5 minutes.
Damn, guys, it's feeling festive up in here.
Oh,
Hey,
absolutely.
man. Hey, welcome to my humble abode. I try to do this, but hey, I can't take all the credit. This is my lovely wife and her decoration. And
Oh, I know for a fact you didn't decorate this tree. I know for a fact. John has no type of skills when it comes to that, but most men don't. So if you're a guy out there that gets in trouble for not decorating the tree with your wife, comment below. We feel your pain.
hey, listen, man. I all praises due to my wife, and she really did it this year, man. It's one of my favorite decorations for Christmas I've ever had. So.
The tree looks
thank you,
wonderful.
thank you.
The tree looks wonderful.
I am blessed.
I also want to say thank you too for this incredible cup of hot chocolate too. We're making this a very special Christmas edition.
Man, I forgot the marshmallows though, man. That
Oh, I didn't.
on top.
The elf on the shelf, everybody.
All right, everybody, man. I know we've all heard the news. Garrett Cole signed his $324 million contract over 9 years to the evil empire,
Merry motherfucking Christmas.
New York Yankees.
Womp, womp, womp.
We'll look into that and what this means for the future of the Astros and future of many things that have come. Rob Manfred as well, speaking of the Astros, have come out and said this is the most extensive investigation the MLB has ever had. Rob Manfred is, of course, the commissioner of MLB, reviewed over 70,000 texts and emails, interviewed over 60 people.
Yeah, they reached out to me too. They were asking me if I heard any banging of the trash cans.
They probably saw the
Did you
video,
plead the
man.
fifth?
No, I just told them that was me and my wife. Different kind of banging.
Oh, hold up. Bow chicka wow wow.
Yo, we're this close. It's getting Christmas frisky.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Season of giving, huh? So, we got that, man. Anthony Rondon, who was my free agent that I kind of wanted selfishly for the Astros, but
Yeah, right.
you know,
Who's his
can't
agent?
get everything.
Who's his agent?
Scott Boras.
He wasn't coming to Houston.
So yeah, we got that. We got the Rockets. Did you happen to see the Rockets versus the Spurs? And we lost by, what was it, 2 points?
2 points.
I don't know, but I remember specifically a dunk that happened but didn't happen.
Oh, he
And
scored.
We tried to challenge and couldn't challenge, but then we could challenge, but then the time ran out. Something about, am I wrong?
Oh,
Am I right?
no. You're wrong. We scored. We should have won. But,
Oh, okay.
hey, we protested the game, and they said, ha, 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 ha.
So
No.
we'll
It's
get
just
it.
it's just like that Texans call, huh? When they called him out. Who was it at the 3? He was running with the ball. He made that dive. It was a touchdown. It would have been a touchdown, or it was a touchdown, but they called him out. His foot.
Is it the Patriots last week?
Was that last week? I forget exactly which game, but
Well,
I
at
think
least
we ended up scoring anyway. But it was like,
Oh, no. I thought I was getting my games mixed up. No, the Patriots lost to the Chiefs, and they were called at the 2, and they couldn't score the touchdown, which would have basically, I think, tied the game at that point.
No, I don't think it was that. No, this was.
But that's something similar. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but that's very
But
similar.
it's like his foot was close to the sideline.
But they
then
called.
when you see the replay, you clearly see green. But it was something about because it was inside the
2 minute
2
one?
minutes,
Oh
so they
my
couldn't
God.
review it. I don't know.
Khoa, did the Texans win that game though?
Wait, which game was that? Did we win? We didn't win, huh?
We won, right? Well, the Rockets
Oh,
basically was taken away from them because of
yeah, I know.
piss poor refereeing
I'm just saying, it seems like the world against Houston either way.
Oh, it's definitely the world against Houston at this point. Absolutely, Khoa. Yeah, Santa Khoa, you always come in with those gifts, baby. You are absolutely right.
And also, we gotta get into our pick sixes of the week, man. I got so much to talk about when we get ready to these picks. Cause I'm just, I've been on fire lately. I don't know if just.
I gotta check how we did last week.
Okay. You check while
you go ahead.
I'm still chasing that 6-0, but yeah, man. Can we get into this show? Because I'm so ready. Ho, ready.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I'm ready to get on this sled with you, John. Lead us.
All right. Once again, this is the Sports Trapp Podcast. My name is John Trapp. Khoa,
My goodness.
checking on his record on the pick sixes, and Christopher C. Rodriguez, Mr. Elf on the Shelf. Elf on your mama's shelf.
Damn right. Get it right, baby.
All right. So, like I said before, Garrett Cole signs a 9-year, $324 million contract. As an Astro fan, and we've been drugged through the mud, we've been taking these hits. As an Astro fan, how does that make you feel, Khoa, Chris? Your number one best pitcher probably in the past, say, 20 years, at least for one season. Best pitcher has just left the building. Minute Maid Park, to be exactly specific.
I mean, at this point, I'm not surprised at any of it. It was already, everyone was already thinking it wasn't a good chance of him coming back to Houston anyway. So it's like, all right, you start looking at the suitors. Where's he going to go? And then, for Houston, for us thinking, it was like, okay, where's the worst place he can go? Well, that's probably where the best chance he's going to end up. Who's got, the most, just the most swaying power, the most salary cap money, just the franchise that is trying to take back their legacy after having, what was it, their first decade without being in a World Series.
Not even a World Series appearance.
Since, I don't know how long. Fucking 1800. I don't know. How?
I don't know. We were in high school.
I don't think it matters as far as how long they've been irrelevant, but this has certainly made them relevant. This has certainly made them prohibitive favorites just off of this one trade, or one signing that the Yankees have made. But Chris, I've yet to hear your perspective from it, because
the Yankees are the Grinch, and they've stolen my Christmas. That's exactly what's going on right now. I mean, let's be real here. We all expected $300 million. They were able to do $324. I think that when Garrett Cole was here, he gave it his all. He deserves to have a payday since he has been the absolute best pitcher, and he has the potential to be one of the greatest pitchers of all time. I think what's the most heartbreaking thing is that he left never winning a championship with the Astros. And that's what hurts the most in all this. I bless him and his family, and,
yeah, well, the Astros did try to, apparently, according to the New York Post, that Astros did try to sign him at the very end, or, throw a little bone out there to see if Garrett Cole will bite, but of course, $324 million is going to take care of your kids' kids and their kids' kids. So for anybody to turn that down, it's hard. It's hard pressed. I think if we were talking before the show, you turning down millions. That's short sighted. That's I know you're the one making all the money and going out there and pitching and everything, but that's selfish in a sense of like just for championship's sake, man. If you at the end of the day you went and you tried your hardest and you never won a championship, but you got $324 million in the bank, I'm gonna feel okay. I'm gonna feel okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel about that.
And not just that, but I mean, Garrett Cole gets to play for his childhood team, his favorite childhood team. And, I think that just says, I am not a fan of Yankee fans, but I am a fan of Yankee heritage. They have the richest, greatest history, probably in all of sports history. And if you can play for your childhood team, and most importantly, to put your dent in such a rich heritage and legacy of the Yankees and get paid $324 million, to me, that's a win-win. So,
what is a successful? Because they signed him for 9 years. There's an opt-out clause.
I thought it was 10 years with the opt-out on 5 year.
5, right?
5 year, yeah.
9 years at least that's the details. I think they can't make it official until he passes the physical, but they've agreed to 324 over 9 years with after 5 years he can opt out if he so chooses. But you've committed a decade essentially to this one player who, for all intents and purposes, is the richest baseball player per game.
But he's definitely not opting out in 5 years, so that's just ridiculous. I mean, that's even an option.
Unless he has another season like this, why would you? You know what I mean? Like, but Strasburg, he opted out, but he also hit the height of his potential in his career last year, just like Cole. So, you never know, but it'd be hard pressed for me to understand somebody opting out of 5 years for this amount of money. But as far as the Yankees are concerned, this guy's making $1 million a start. It's like every time he steps on that field to pitch, the first pitch, he's made $1 million. I don't really get into the dollar signs. It's more like specifics, but just to hear that kind of blows you away and kind of gives you a little perspective on that. But
yeah, that reminds me of, and it still doesn't even close to match. Like the if you break down the time they spend versus how much they're making when it comes to like how much Mayweather and like Pacquiao, or like Conor McGregor during those fights. I was like, okay, we're breaking $500 million into 2 hours, less, or how many minutes in a round? 3 minutes, 12 rounds.
It just goes to
crazy,
show.
Man, crazy. I think what's fascinating about all this though is that we're really gonna be able to witness and see truly how great Garrett Cole is, because playing in New York is a different monster from playing anywhere else. There is going to be such a different the way the fans are going to look at Garrett Cole. He can't come out not doing well. That's a lot of pressure that's going to be put on him, and
it's weird.
It's a tremendous amount of pressure. The Yankee fans, as we know it, are probably some of the worst fans. And you know who I'm talking about. There's other fans out there that are great Yankee fans that are respectful, but you guys are on another level. That's why you're the most hated fans there is next to the Cowboy fans. Hey, it is what it is. But I think that it's going to be truly fascinating to see if he can live up to the $324 million contract. That's a lot of pressure. And when things go wrong, how will he respond? Because he will be booed. You know that the New York media is way different than the Houston media. And, I'm kind of surprised that he went to New York, to be honest with you. I thought maybe he would be going back to California, be closer to his family. He seems like a very family person, family-oriented person. But, I mean, it is what it is, man. He joined this New York Yankees team. But I just find it ironic, though, do find it ironic that the reasons for why the Yankees haven't been successful the last couple of seasons with all the money put out on players is for the simple fact that the Astros are such cheaters. It's kept them from being able to win the World Series. But if what is said is true and the Astros are cheaters, you just spent $325 million on one of our best cheaters. So I guess at the end of the day, the Astros are a lot like the Yankees and like every other baseball team, which means is anyone is willing to do anything and everything to fucking win. So good luck, guys. Hey, just so you know, he likes trash cans. So make sure you bang away, Yankees. Good luck to you, motherfuckers. That's all I gotta say about that.
Tell me how you really feel.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, man.
Now, Chris, what does this mean for the Astros' future going forward? Because we just lost essentially our best pitcher, and Verlander and Zach Greinke are 36, 37 years old going into next year. Zach Greinke's making $30 million a year.
Yeah,
Verlander's making something very close to that. How do we improve our pitching when, again, the best pitcher just walked out the building?
Well, there's already rumors that the Astros are very shopping Carlos Correa.
You think he's the answer?
I think the problem is shopping Carlos Correa right now. Unfortunately, he's at his low end of the trade. Right?
You think that he has a stigma?
I think there is. I think people now see him as somebody who gets hurt or has a lot of distractions that keeps him from being his full potential.
Okay. Now, if you still put up his numbers, it's still comparable to some of the greats, right? But what I mean by stigma is do people look at him as maybe devalued because his success was based on a trash can?
No, not at all. Let me tell you something.
What?
I don't think so at all. Listen, it doesn't matter if you cheated. If you're an Astro and you cheated, it still doesn't change the fact that Astros have some of the best players in baseball, and any of these teams will do anything for them. Right now, the rumor is that the Reds really want Carlos Correa along with Reddick, and they're willing to trade one of their youngest up and coming pitchers,
right?
Because they want to have a superstar.
Yeah,
they want to have a superstar shortstop that they can build around. Carlos Correa still has that A-Rod-ish feel to him. If he can get his life together as far as health goes, he's still going to probably go down in the Baseball Hall of Fame, one of the greatest shortstops to ever play the game. I don't think that has anything to do with it. If anything, a lot of these teams probably want some of our Astros so they can figure out how we did it so they can do it too. That's just my personal opinion about that.
I think that what I really wanted to happen was move Correa and free up some money, get a couple prospects in pitching, and have us really try to go after I'm blanking his name right now, but the third baseman for Rondon from the Washington Nationals, but he signed with
big
the
contract,
Angels.
7 years with the Angels,
yeah.
And then now we got to see him on a regular basis because he's going to be one of our rivals. Listen, I think in hindsight, I think what's going to happen to the Astros is they went all in with Greinke, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go all in thinking you can win a championship. Greinke doesn't look like a bad contract if we win the World Series. Unfortunately, we didn't win the World Series, and now we're looking at having somebody who's pretty much past their prime, and we're going to be paying all kinds of money. I would not be surprised if not only Carlos Correa at one point gets traded for young depth, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Greinke is also traded to a possible playoff contender to rid ourselves of that contract. I mean, Astros right now have to think long term. Luno's great at that. I think that the most important thing right now is you've already tied up Jose Altuve and Bregman. Those are your superstar players, and now you need to, personally, like I've always said, if you had a choice between Correa or Springer, you go with Springer. He's one of the best leadoff hitters, phenomenal outfielder. I think that's their main concern right now, making sure they sign Springer to a long-term contract, and then you build around.
We already got rid of Maresnik, right?
Yeah, I was a little sad about that, but I understand.
Just to go on a little bit about the future of the Astros, as far as pitching is concerned, again, Verlander and Greinke, 36, 37 years old, but we do got Lance McCullers coming back.
Yes, my boy Lance coming back. Let's go.
Tommy John surgery, but with an aging rotation, the one question is, can we hold that up? How long? And can Verlander and Greinke stay at the top of their game? And I like McCullers, but don't get me wrong. It wasn't like McCullers was taking the league by storm even before the surgery. We got a couple people in the prospect in the minor leagues. One being Brian Abreu. He already played a little bit for us. Just caught
Look
up
good.
real quick.
Look good. Forrest Whitley's on there.
He's got a good slider. And then also, but he kind of has that whole Garrett Cole feel, but just doesn't have the velocity that Garrett Cole could hit. Garrett Cole could hit 3 digits, right? And, but that's not something that you can find just anywhere. And the one person that we refused to trade was Forrest Whitley. Forrest Whitley was our number 1 first round draft pick in 2016. He has 5 top pitches. Now the problem with him is he's already been suspended. He has injuries already. He's had drug suspensions. And last year was probably his worst year in the minors. I think that if he can get some major league experience, we'll see something. But honestly, Chris, we're going to have to take a step back. If we want to take 2 steps forward, we have to take a step back. I think that's going to be the best way to do it. Verlander can stick around as an aging veteran, but if I'm the Astros, hear me out. Chris, you and I both had many discussions about this, but you agree, and we both agree, that we think the Astros are guilty. My stance has always been that they're not the only ones doing it. Chris, your stance has all been about integrity, and I understand that, respect that. Going on what you're saying, right? The best thing for the Astros to do is honestly get ahead of this. If any slight of these details are true, whether it be a trash can, whether it be somebody putting their hand on the fence, or whether it even be pulsating Band-Aids, if any of that is true, 2 things need to happen. Jeff Luhnow fired immediately. Not by MLB. Us. Houston Astros need to get ahead of this. They need to, you know how NCAA teams do? They go ahead and suspend, fire, whatever, before the NCAA even makes their ruling. Mm-hmm. And I love A.J. Hinch as a manager. And I want him to be the manager for the Astros as long as possible. But he needs to be suspended an entire year. Let the storm hit. And let us try to take as much control of the storm as we can. But in a year, we'll let Jeff Luhnow, listen, he can be a consultant for us. I don't care. I understand his leadership and his scouting team was phenomenal. What he's brought to the team is phenomenal and bar none the best that we've ever had. But if you want to put an onus or focus on one person, and that's what the media wants, that's what the public wants, and that's what the public is going to demand, is you got to put it on the general manager. Whoever was the top dog at the time has to go down. Save the rest of your team by pinning it on him. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And I know that sounds horrible, but at the end of the day, you have to blame somebody. Let him take the fall. If he gets another job, great. If he doesn't want to get another job, great. Or however he feels that he should go about his career. But A.J. Hinch, if you suspend him for a year, the noise will die down. He comes back quietly. The team doesn't even make the playoff. You get your prospects up, get them experience, move Greinke out in his contract, and you rebuild with a good team and go for the playoffs again. This time clean. This time with the same manager that took you to the World Series two years ago, but he's paid his dues. People will respect that. We won't have that.
I think that when people say that this is going to be the worst punishment ever in the history of baseball. I see it a little bit differently than most. I think people are thinking they're gonna either take all of our draft picks or not allow us to be in the playoffs. They're definitely not taking our championship away because with or without trash cans, you still have to hit the ball. And Astros won a couple of games in LA that proves that they were just a better team at the end of the day. But I think it's interesting that you say that, and I think that's why I really feel like, number one, if the Astros should get ahead of it, and this is what's causing me to have such a moral dilemma with the Astros, because if they are guilty, it's best you admit it than to wait. Because the longer you wait, the longer you deny it, they're gonna find it. And I think that really pisses me off.
I'll just want to say this one point, and I'll let you continue. The one thing that bothers me about this whole thing, I've not heard one denial from anybody. Nobody has said, no, that's not true, that we didn't do it. Nobody. Excuse me. And that is, I don't understand that.
It's like a kid who knows that when you catch them doing something and they're gonna lie until you pretty much prove to them that they did it. It's almost as if they're just gonna ride this until it comes out like they found this, or they're hoping that they don't find anything and then they can then it's when the denial comes out. But here's the thing. I personally feel like what they're going to do is that if it does come out true, I think they're going to ban both Jeff Luhnow and Hinch from ever being in Major League Baseball. You heard it from me right now. That's what's going to happen. They're going to be banned.
Bar none, just forever?
Banned.
Man.
You look at Pete Rose. Look what happened to Pete Rose.
Yeah.
I think that in order...
I will say, when he was talking to everybody, the media, in winter meetings, he looked like somebody was scared about his job. I mean, that's
because
just my perspective.
The thing about suspending him for a year doesn't change the fact that he was willing to go great lengths, him and Luhnow and the rest of the coaching staff, to do everything they could to have the edge as far as cheating when they know it was wrong. So even if he's suspended for a year, he's always going to have that shadow on him as somebody, whatever team, whether he comes back to the Astros or whether he goes to another team, is he going to do it again? That's why for baseball, it's easier to ban him completely than it is. And that's sad because even without this, Hinch is a great baseball coach, a great baseball manager. But I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to get penalized money-wise, picks-wise, and I think that both Luhnow and Hinch are going to be banned lifetime ever from baseball.
Man.
Speaking of this whole hidden camera Spygate, the New England Patriots were caught.
Again?
Spygate 3.0.
Spygate 2.0.
Once again, this is the Sports Trapp Podcast. My name is John Trapp. Mr. Santa Claus.
Damn right. Hell yeah.
Mr. Elf on the Shelf.
He's always coming down the chimney.
With
I like it. Look
this
at
Christmas theme. But yeah, so last week, the New England Patriots had a show that they were filming. And from the details is the show that they filmed was in a press box filming another team, Bengals versus, I can't remember.
Yeah, but it was the Bengals, right?
I think it was Buffalo. Bengals with the Buffalo. I think something like that. Wasn't it?
Okay. Is it
I think
Bengals
so.
versus Buffalo? So, that being said, there was 8 minutes where that film crew filmed the game, the sideline of the other team.
Yeah.
In the press box.
Oops. Isn't that what they said? Oops.
Yeah, basically, they didn't know that.
Oh, we didn't know the camera shifted from the field to the sideline.
Oops.
Other reports saying that the people said, "Hey, we didn't know we weren't supposed to record that, so why don't we just erase the tapes? Would that be okay?"
Well, listen. That and I know you went into that, but it just goes to show you that even when you've done anything in the past, that's always going to be the stigma on that team for the rest of. I mean, the big reasons why people hate the Patriots is because they think they're cheaters. A lot of people will tell me I hate the Patriots because my favorite is I hate the Patriots because the league just loves Brady. I hate the Patriots because all they do is cheat. That's all people ever say. Now, I watch the Patriots. And it seems like they do a lot of winning. I'm not saying that they haven't done things to bend the rules. Like, I thought it was kind of weird how the Kansas City Chiefs, all their gear was lost somehow, some way. And I was reading Twitter like, oh, there go the Patriots.
Oh, it got sent to New Jersey.
Yeah. There goes the Patriots doing Patriot-like things. Listen, I think that everybody is trying to do everything they can for a competitive edge. It is what it is. You can't find any sport right now where someone's doing something they're not supposed to in order for the competitive edge, unfortunately. And I know that fits into your pessimistic insight because you think everyone's cheating, everyone's on steroids.
But people mistake that for me not thinking that I don't have any integrity. I don't think that any cheating should be allowed. That's not my point here. My point is that if any team can get away with bending the rules, and I'm gonna be specific, in 2007 there was a report that came out that New England was going to set up a system to where they had their own show. So if they were ever to be caught, and this is 2007, it's 2019, 12 years later, if they were ever to be caught doing this, they would have plausible deniability and saying, oh, we were filming our scouts, not the other team.
That's because Bill Belichick's an evil genius. I love it.
And we all know what happened in that 2007 season.
I'm telling you, man.
Well,
you don't think they haven't been doing this for any other time within the past 12 years?
I think if you look at society as a whole right now, I think for the first time in a long time, everyone's moral compass is being called out. Because from a sports standpoint to even a political standpoint,
Love it.
Everybody is either accusing someone of cheating or justifying why they cheated.
Right.
And you can't even look at the political landscape right now without finding out that, yes, obviously there is outside interference. There's continued asking of outside interference for somebody to continue to win. We won't mention his name, but I'm just saying, like, right now across the board, and you have people that defend it. Well, it's okay. That's what you do when you have political rivals. You're supposed to do everything you can to win. And I've heard people say, you don't think that Biden's doing the same thing? Everybody across the board right now is on this level of it's okay if it's my favorite team or my favorite person.
Oh, my God.
And I think that's what bothers me the most right now.
That's the truth.
It really does.
I don't know. I saw this this quote or a little article or something.
Just real quick, the 49ers aren't cheating. I just want to let you know.
Oh, they're the biggest fucking cheaters there are.
Hold on.
They're the biggest cheaters there are.
It's funny because, we didn't mention anything about the 49ers, but
you said
he heard
something about
cheating
that.
and he just
I'm
had
sorry,
to bring
I'm
up the 49ers.
I'm sorry.
I feel like, was that just a confession?
I think
Was
so.
that just
I think he knows what's up.
I think John knows something we don't.
What were you going to say?
I was about to say, so you speaking of this whole like cheating, and then like think about Bill Belichick. I think about what type of coach he is, and he's the type of person where it's like he knows all the rules, and he knows where he can bend them, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. Right? If he sees a little loophole that you give him, he's gonna use the shit out of that loophole, right?
Yep.
And that's where you get the plausible deniability, and that's why he's backing himself up. Now, this little thing I read about Kobe talking about how, I don't know what part of his career, but when he started really, trying to up his game to the next level past just like, physically, he started studying the rules like 100% all the way through. And then he found out that the referees had to be in certain positions.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on where the ball is.
Really?
That's right.
Is that why they run so hard?
So depending on where top of the key or in the corner or wherever,
right,
wherever the ball is, I guess because they've figured out like that's like the best vantage
point of view.
Point.
Yeah.
And there's 3, right, or whatever. There's usually like 3 or so refs. So he figured out wherever the ball is going to be, they had to be there. So he knew every blind spot that they had. So
really,
so I think he would set up plays and get with like
Phil Jackson,
Phil Jackson or whoever was coaching him at the time, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna run these plays, and he just had these role players, just pass me the ball, go over there, and then once the ball goes in the corner, he knows where that
reference gonna be.
he knows where that blind spot's gonna be.
Okay.
So then they won't catch him holding, or they won't catch him.
Wow.
Or like it's crazy, and that's how meticulous he went to get an edge, right? But let's say his career's over now. You hear about that, and what is the first thing that came to mind to you? Are you thinking that's a negative thing? Like, damn, how could he do that? Or are you thinking, man, was that genius?
No, I just think it's advantage of the rules. Like you were saying, Belichick is a master at that. The other week he was calling, he was doing delay of games and just letting the clock run out, and you could see in his face.
And smiling and just smirking in the sideline, just like
he's a dick. And I think that's interesting that you brought up Kobe Bryant.
Belichick is a troll.
Oh, he's definitely a troll, and I mean, if you're a non-Patriot fan, I can see why you would hate him, but I don't think there's one team right now that would trade everything they possibly have to have Belichick as their coach. So I would definitely argue with anybody that would tell me differently.
Hold on. Say that again. You think that right now, today, after everything that we're starting to find out, right? You don't think nobody would trade for him?
No, I think anybody would trade for him.
Okay,
I'm saying that if you're a fan of another team, and as much crying that you do Yankees, much crying you do about that.
Tell him, Chris.
About Bill Belichick as being a cheater. You would still trade your best players in order to bring Bill Belichick to just because you know what he brings to the table.
100%.
If he can make Brady become the greatest quarterback of all time, imagine what he could do for your quarterback.
So, the last episode, you asked me what do I think the punishment should be with the Astros. Of course, I had overtime. I've kind of thought about it a little bit better and came up with a different solution. But before then, I said essentially what NFL did to the Patriots, right? The number one thing I was getting about, or what I was hearing about, was the pundits were saying, what could they punish the Astros for in order to make it where no team would ever do this again? Here's what I say that to say this. The Patriots were suspended. The Patriots were taking draft picks away and fined. The organization was fined like $700,000, $500,000, and Bill Belichick was fined $250,000. Right? Well, lo and behold, they did it again. So now, what do you think is a fair punishment in order for them, not just them, but anybody to ever not want to ever do this?
I tell you this much: the NFL, to me, and I have an issue with NFL across the board as far as their integrity. I think every sport has an issue with the moral factor and the code, but I think NFL is the absolute worst, in my personal opinion.
Wow.
We can talk about how they try to hide concussions. We can talk about how they try to implement rules to counter out the fact that they did deny these concussions. But I just look about how we still have we still wear pink for breast cancer, but we don't do anything for domestic violence. And they've had nothing but issues with domestic violence. They try to hide that stuff under the door. But one thing they'll never do, the baseball, Major League Baseball would ban Hinch, but they would never ban Bill Belichick, because without Bill Belichick, there would be no Super Bowl drama. There'd be no football without Bill Belichick.
No,
so
I think, yeah.
Unfortunately,
he's Goliath.
He is Goliath, and he has changed, and he's actually. Think about this: NFL has been my favorite sport because it's a true team sport. Everybody has a position, everybody has a role, and most of the time, the best players, you can't even see their faces, so you're cheering on what they do well as a skill set.
Yeah.
The true face of the NFL, if there was one, is Bill Belichick. His face is everywhere.
So, but okay.
Don't you think, though, I feel like this year more than ever, I mean, we said this in the very beginning, even before the season started, how excited we were for the season because we feel like there's going to be more parity this season than at least in seasons past. And I think seeing the Patriots play, although, they do have an elite record and they're right up there, I mean, they've been showing their weaknesses. Tom Brady is not looking like the Tom Brady of past, the 6-time Super Bowl winner, So I mean, they're looking like
I'm
mortals.
glad you said that.
Because I feel like if any time is a good time for the or not good time, but if any time feels like, oh, it's okay, we can do it, and to argue your point, it would be now. If it was 5 years ago or whatever, maybe not. But I feel like now, let's say there is a punishment like that for Belichick. I feel like it would stir a lot of things at first and a lot of emotions and cause a lot of ruckus, of course, on all the Patriots fans and everything. But I mean, I feel like we'll just move on because there's other elite teams, other elite quarterbacks, and great, in the AFC and NFC. And I don't know, man. I feel like.
But Khoa, who's the best coach in the NFL?
I mean, I can't say anyone but Bill. And you're right, but
that
doesn't mean that he's untouchable.
Well, that's just it, because he's shown he's untouchable because of the leeway.
If they come out and they're
thus far, I agree. Thus far, he has.
These are all rumors. There's all reports that we don't know exactly how this is going to play out. But say that the NFL finds him guilty, right? Bill Belichick. You talking about AJ Hinch? I'm thinking Bill Belichick is done. And if he's not, then Chris is 100% right. This guy is kiss the ring, because this guy is the Godfather.
The problem with the NFL is that the boss of Roger Goodell are the owners.
The owners, right?
And so that's when the fact that there's so much politics that go into it. There's a reasons why Kaepernick's not playing. It's because of the owners,
right?
And there's a reasons why Belichick continues to play, because Kraft is probably one of the richest and most powerful owners next to Jerry Jones that's in the NFL. It ain't gonna happen, because the problem with Roger Goodell is the moment he decides, I'm thinking about banning Belichick, you know what's gonna happen to Roger Goodell? He ain't gonna get paid.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Well,
man, the more we talk about it, it sounds like just straight up mafia.
Hell yeah, it's the mafia.
That's what I'm saying. Kiss the
mafia.
ring. Kiss the ring. Like honestly, because I did the favor
Corleone,
for you,
bro.
I did a favor for you by getting you this job. I was one of the 30 owners, most powerful owners, to come at you and get you this job. Now, my man, he got caught twice. So what? Get him out of jail. Make a show. Mm-hmm. You can't just have him doing that. Make a show enough for everybody to see that he got punished, and then a year from now, sweep it under the rug, act like nothing ever happened.
I think about this. At one point, a lot of the owners were getting tired of Roger Goodell, and they thought about not giving him an extension. And then a big component of Roger Goodell were Jerry Jones and Kraft. Yeah. Listen, man, it is what it is. It's politics at its best. That's why, at the end of the day, you just hope that your team, if Texans, can find a way to get better, so they could beat a team that's now starting to, Father Time is starting to catch up with them, which is apparent, and we've been talking about that. I know every year we say it, they're on, they're down, but this year, for the first time ever, I think we can all agree that the Patriots are probably not coming out of the AFC to the Super Bowl, and that this is the final years of the Brady Belichick. But that doesn't mean that Belichick is dead.
Okay.
He's the dark Sith.
This is honestly,
dark
this is what should
Jesus.
happen. Like I said, if he gets proven, he's banned. Not just right now for this season or next season, indefinitely. I'm not saying forever, but at least 2 years out the game. 2, the Patriots are not allowed to be in the playoffs this year. I don't give a shit what their record is. They shouldn't be allowed in the playoffs.
That's why you have to really, at the end of the day, the one thing that I feel like the NBA and Major League Baseball does right is that Major League Baseball will get criticism is that the fact that they won't do anything until they have no other choice, but they do something about it, right? It might be a little too late, but they make sure it's done. NBA, same thing. They make sure that, with the exception of that protest recently with the Rockets, but for the most part, when they had the issue with the Clippers owner, they got rid of him like they should have, right? And this is an owner. To get rid of an owner is pretty tough in any sport. The NFL, they are just like the Astros in many ways, is that they will pretend that nothing is going on, and find a way to just kind of like sweep everything on the rug until they have no other choice but to address it. Concussions, domestic violence, it's a continuous thing with the NFL. And what's so sad is that we don't do anything as fans to demand that the NFL does better, because guess what? We are addicted to the violence that we see, the only true gladiator sport that's in America right now, which is the NFL. As much as I am a component about the way or against the way that the NFL goes about things, I still watch it because I love it. Because I'm addicted to the big hits, the big plays, the violence of it, and that just makes me a fucking hypocrite. It really does, and it trust me, it makes me sick to my stomach. That I'm over here like, why don't they ever do anything for domestic violence? But I'm like, oh shit, did you just see that hit, dog? Like, it's fucked up. It really is.
This is the Sports Trap Podcast. Once again, my name is John Trapp, Mr. Santa Claus, and the elf on the shelf himself, Christopher C. Rodriguez. All right, now that we're starting to boil down and really, let's talk about sports. We're talking about a lot about the politics behind the sports, and don't get me wrong, I think it's extremely important. But man, I'm super excited for these next games. I want to bring up one point though. Oh, I've been waiting for this all week. All right. So, can you guess the quarterback, right? I'm gonna just spit these facts, right?
Oh God, here we go.
Year one, full-time starter, right? Guess the quarterback. 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Player number 2, 28 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. First-year starters. Right?
Okay.
Player number 3, 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Player number 1, none other than Aaron Rodgers. Player number 2, of course, the GOAT, Tom Brady. And player number 3, Jimmy G, porn star Jimmy. What can I tell you? This man is, I'm not saying he's there yet. All I'm saying is, if you have a blueprint out and you put them all side by side, they're all looking pretty good.
You're full of shit, John. They're so full of, I'm stopping
Jimmy
this right
G
now.
is having one of the best first year, full-time starting years a quarterback can have. And I was all with the public saying that he wasn't proven yet. He hasn't led the teams to big games. But lo and behold, Jimmy G is starting to become the reason why the 49ers are winning. And the 49ers are sitting at 11-2. Number 1 in the NFC. Overall. It's looking pretty good, my friend. Christopher C. Rodriguez. Tell me why I'm wrong.
John, you're full of shit. Number 1, the 49ers, real facts, had the weakest schedule in the beginning, just like the Patriots, right? I think more than ever, I think that if you're a 49ers fan, you're playing your fucking self. Because I know all your 49ers fans are saying right now, Jimmy G's the real G. Well, the G really stands for, I don't know. You know what I want to say, but I gotta be politically correct. But you know what the G stands for, and Jimmy Jimmy G. But
I call him porn star Jimmy for nothing.
No. It's a different kind of porn. Anyways, the point being is this: that the 49ers are great because of their elite defense, because of their scheme, the running game, and there's not enough to see of Jimmy G to tell me he's an elite quarterback of any kind. And if that's what you're betting on, guess what? I can easily see the 49ers being a second-round knockout real easily.
Listen. Oh, I mean, you're boiling down to one game, right?
First playoff game in a long time, they lose. That's what's going to happen.
Okay. Listen. Guys won 2 games as a Patriot. Won 5 games as a 49er. He essentially did not lose a game till this year. He's like sitting at 22-2.
John,
Something ridiculous.
This is why numbers are not always the tell all and be all in sports. I know we like to say, men lie, but numbers don't. Shout out Jay-Z. But here's the thing. It's easy to manipulate statistics and stats to favor your argument, especially when you're a 49ers homer, especially when you think that right now the 49ers are going to the promised land. And guess what? They're not better than the Ravens. Sorry, they're not. You're going to really be mad at me about this? They're definitely not better than the Seahawks. I think if they play the Saints again, Saints will beat them.
So let's
last but not certainly least, because they're actually starting to play really well right now, I don't even think that the 49ers could even beat the Los Angeles Rams in the playoffs.
All right, in the playoffs. Are the Rams gonna make the playoffs?
I'm pretty sure they're very close to making the wild card. So
all right. So let's take the numbers out. Right. Let's just go.
Your
by,
inflated numbers.
Yeah, my inflated numbers.
Your
right.
steroid
The
numbers.
numbers
Go
are
ahead.
the numbers. I can't. Yeah,
it
I can
is what
inflate
it is.
them. Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, in 2010, Brett Favre retired, but in 2007, Green Bay gave up on him. They went with Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame, won a Super Bowl. Cool. Sure thing, Hall of Fame. And 2015, Peyton retires, right? 4 years earlier, 2011, the Colts gave up on him. After hurting his neck, he went on to the Broncos. They drafted and got Andrew Luck, right? It's arguably whether he's a Hall of Famer or not, but you saw the future. You saw the potential. He was. We were saying this earlier this year. Super Bowl contenders with Andrew Luck. All right, the Patriots wanted to give up in 2016. They wanted to give up on Tom Brady. Guess who said no? Robert Kraft. Bill Belichick, we agree, is the greatest coach of all time. Wanted to go not with Tom Brady, with Jimmy G. The man himself, the man of the hour, the man who we're talking about right now.
Okay. Wow. This is where this is
completely where I'm going.
Bill Belichick did that in order to get Brady to step up his game, to improve the way he was. That was all mind games. There is no way in hell Bill Belichick would have ever sat down.
This is
John, man, dude.
I'm not bringing up.
And Nick Cannon is the greatest battle rapper, and he's gonna kill Eminem. This is what the kind of shit you're telling me right now, man.
All right. I'm just saying.
Let's you know what. Anyways, I'm so sorry. This is the Sports Trapp podcast, and of course, that's the host with the most. Until he talks about the 49ers, John Trapp. I'm Chris, the elf on the shelf. Hell no. And I'm going to tell you right now what we are going to agree on, because I'm sick of talking about these goddamn 49ers. We need to talk about the Texans.
Hold on. Let's agree on one thing.
Because we're living in Houston, Texas, not San Francisco.
Wait. He's been the best quarterback to come out of the Patriots after everybody but Tom Brady.
Okay. Anyways,
yes or no?
John, how about you put that theory? How about you put that theory in a box, wrap it up, and open that bullshit on Christmas Day?
Matt Castle. He's not better than Matt Castle. Vinny Testaverde, Brian Hoyer, Brian Mallett, Jacoby Brissett. Who would you take over Jimmy G right now?
Jacoby Brissett.
Wow. You just saying that shit you talking about full of shit. I know you full of shit.
I'll take Jacoby Brissett. I don't think Jimmy G is a good quarterback. I'm sorry, man. You know what? You are such a homer right now. You will do anything and everything right now to sit here and try to sell yourself, including the world who's watching, that the 49ers are on another level. They're going to go to the Super Bowl because of Jimmy G. You're going to lose because of Jimmy G.
I'm not saying that Jimmy G won't, lose a game for us. I'm not saying that we will win the Super Bowl because of him, or win the Super Bowl not necessarily because of him, but we will. He's going to be the end all be all reason why we won the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is, trajectory wise, what I've seen from him, the eye test, what he's produced on the field.
The eye test,
what he's produced on the field so far. In 1 year, the level of progression and the maturity he's developed over 1 year, what else do you need to see from him in order for you to think that he's going to be a good quarterback?
John, the only
going
reasons
forward?
why you're even talking about Jimmy G right now, and the truth be told, is because of great coaching and most important, that fucking phenomenal defense. That's it. Now, you want to come in here and tell me that the 49ers have the best defense in NFL? I'm like, you damn right they do. That is the defensive squad right now. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that the 49ers...
Saints, what happened to the Saints?
What happened to the Saints?
Yeah. So how did the 49ers win when it came down to, hey, what were we saying a couple weeks ago? We needed to see that game that Jimmy G came through when the defense wasn't there. Last week.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
It's called the NFL. A week prior to last week, the Texans beat the Patriots in the most dominating way we've ever seen. Then the next week they lose to who?
The Broncos.
The Broncos. This is what the NFL is. Anybody can lose on any given Sunday. But the best of the best always rise to the top. And like I said before, if the 49ers play the Saints again, the Saints win. The Saints win.
I would say that about the Ravens. I can say that about
John,
the Seahawks.
No. You're missing the point.
You
guys got a win. No. You got to win. But if they were to play 10 times in a row, who do you think has a winning record?
I think the 49ers.
You're full of shit, man. I tell you, man. John, anyways, let's talk about these Houston Texans.
This is the Sports Chat Podcast. We're always
Texans.
getting these kind of conversations.
Let's talk about the Houston Texans.
That's why we're best friends.
Like, Khoa don't even want to say nothing to you because he ruined his Christmas talking about these goddamn 49ers, man.
All right.
Well,
What,
you didn't bring it. Well, I don't know. You chose, only the 3 quarterbacks to add in there, but you.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna give you 50 quarterbacks.
Well, hey, Khoa, why don't you hit him up?
Lamar Jackson's numbers.
Oh yeah, no. Don't get me wrong. What I was trying to do too, and then full disclosure, I was trying to give him prototype quarterbacks to compare. I'm not going to compare him to Lamar Jackson or even Deshaun Watson just because of the fact that it's so different in the way they play the game.
Because they're better.
Okay, I mean, I'm not even debating that. All I'm saying is for what I'm getting, what I'm investing as far as being a 49er fan and emotionally getting attached to them and my hopes up because I think that they're Super Bowl ready. I'm not saying they're going to win it this year, but perennially they look good. So with that being said, hey, I'm okay with Jimmy G. What I've seen from as far as his progression throughout the season, I've seen everything I need to see.
The best thing that can happen to the 49ers right now, which I think is probably going to happen, which I would be so on board. I'd be a 49ers fan. This is what's going to happen. This is what needs to happen. Because John's in denial. It's okay. He's always been in denial about the 49ers. He's had a lot of heartbreak because of the 49ers. And I'm not going to lie, as his best friend, I've definitely cheesed off of the fact that he's been heartbroken. But I will say this.
You're mad because you don't got a team. That's
Tua Tagovailoa, he should enter the draft even if he is the lowest draft pick and the quarterbacks. And what better way to save a franchise and have a true elite quarterback than for the 49ers to draft Tua?
I'll take it.
What if he goes at 199?
I'll take it. I mean, like, shoot, I'm sure Bill Belichick, if he still has a job, he'll draft him.
He'll still have a
49ers.
job. He'll still have a job. Unfortunately, he'll still have a job.
But then you will have to choose. You have to root for the 49ers.
Oh, I cheer for the 49ers, and I will even cheer more when I see Jimmy G become Jimmy the Water Boy and give Tua his water. Can't wait to see that shit.
I'm just saying that's the
Sexy.
best quarterback to come out of New England. All right.
What does that mean?
All right.
What does that mean?
Hey,
let's talk about the Houston Texans, please. This the only team that our true NFL Houston team.
Let's do pick sixes. This is the Sports Chat Podcast. My name is John Trapp, Mr. Khoa, Christopher C. Rodriguez. Man, all right. So let's get down to it, nitty gritty. We got first game of the pick sixes, Thursday night football.
Let's go over last week real quick.
What's up?
Well, let's review
Yeah. Well, let's go.
Review how terrible I did. Oh man.
You want to talk about terrible? Just go with me.
First game.
Fuck you, Cowboys.
Cowboys and Bears. Oh,
you guys are horrible. Can't even beat the Bears. Trubisky blew you guys out. That's ridiculous.
We got that one right.
That's ridiculous, man.
Oh, Saints and Niners. Well, we know how that turned out.
Hey. What can I say?
Yeah. Hey, could have went either way. This is what I was gonna say. So,
Nah,
No,
11-2.
Not if you have the best quarterback to come out of New England.
11-2. Oh, shout out to Eastern Illinois. Shout out to Tony Romo because you just got the next Hall of Famer to come out of Eastern Illinois and Jimmy G.
We all know what happened to Romo. Ironically, he has a nickname.
Hey, I really like him as a sports commentator.
I do too. That's his gift.
I think
that's his gift.
He's actually super dope.
I think he'd be a great coach, actually.
Oh, that'd be cool too. Next was Ravens. Who they play?
The Buffalo Bills.
The Bills.
Yeah, we
got that one.
Yeah.
Texans and Broncos. We all got burned.
Wow.
Patriots and Chiefs. Chris, you got burned, and then Seahawks. We all got burned once again. Yeah. So mediocre week. John took it for 4 out of 6. So
although John thought he was 5-1 for whatever reason.
That's okay.
I forgot about the Seahawks.
I know you did.
I mean, I was so sure the Seahawks were a better team than the 49ers, but I was wrong.
All right. What games you got this week, John?
All right. Let's go. Thursday Night Football. New York Jets at the Baltimore Ravens. This isn't necessarily a game that we would normally talk about, but I wanted to bring up one thing. Wanted to bring up Lamar Jackson and the fact that he's playing on a short week after a quad injury. Chris, please make me understand why they are deciding to play Lamar Jackson.
It's the same thing that happened with Alabama playing Tua, because we all know if Tua would have not played, he would have saved the season and probably led the Alabama back into the playoffs again. I think because of the will of the quarterback who wants to play, I think this is why it's so important that coaching just says, bro, I know you want to play, I know you want to win, but we don't need you out there. We're thinking of something bigger and better. I'm actually thinking that he might be out there for maybe a first quarter or two, but I think they're just going to run the ball. I think Lamar Jackson doesn't need to do anything. I don't think he should even play, but I mean, I don't know, man.
I'm glad you agree with me because finally we agree on something. Khoa, can you explain to me why Lamar Jackson should be out there?
Nah, man. They're sitting at a good spot. What do they got to prove? They're
number one. Right, they're number one in the rankings. I guess they're shooting or vying for home field advantage. But the other team, the number 2 team, is New England, I believe. They got the tiebreak on them, and they're a game up above.
A game up, but I mean, you got 3 games left. I see it because home field advantage is important in the NFL, but I feel like you put them up. I feel like you just put them up in maybe the first quarter, but the expectation should be, it should be no options. It should be not him running. It should just be him handing the ball off to Ingram, and that's it, man. I mean, like you're playing a team that can make things real interesting, really fast.
Yeah, they can. And listen, I hope you're right. And this is one of the things that one of the reasons I even brought up this game, because if you're right, then it's actually going to be a closer game, because as it stands, as of right now, with Lamar Jackson playing, they're pretty much a full squad. They're favored by 16.5 points.
Absolutely.
That's over 2 touchdowns. That's damn near 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
I think if you go out there and you win, I think if you score 2 touchdowns and score early, I think you can easily just coast the rest of the way. You have an elite defense and you have a great running game. And just let that be what it is. I don't even think
Earl Thomas came out and said, yeah, that they're targeting his legs more.
Of course.
I respect the Harbaugh brothers, both of them. You know me.
There's only one
shout
Harbaugh.
Shout out to Michigan.
There's only one Harbaugh I respect.
John Harbaugh, in my opinion, if Lamar Jackson gets hurt, he should be fired. I'm talking about like season-ending injury.
I hear you.
I
think we're just overacting a little bit, but I think we all can agree.
I mean, it's a deja vu. He's gonna pull a Nick Saban.
I hope not. I mean, Nick Saban is sitting there thinking, "Fuck, what did I do?"
They're sitting at 11-2.
They've clinched.
But I got the Baltimore Ravens. Chris, who you got?
Where's it at?
In Baltimore.
I got Baltimore Ravens on the back of Mark Ingram.
Ooh, I like that. Khoa, Baltimore Ravens or the New York Jets?
Ravens, baby.
It is the Jets.
RG3 gonna show up.
RG3
'Cause
comes back.
Hopefully they sit
Yeah.
RG3
Lamar.
comes back. I think
not
they
because
will.
he's injured, but because they decide to do the smart thing and let him rest. And RG3 comes out and just
I'm so confident
show
that
up.
he's not that it matters because I'm not going to do anything in fantasy this year. But I'm not. I have Lamar Jackson. I'm not playing him. I don't even know who the fuck my backup quarterback is. But at this point, I could care less.
All right, so game number 2. This is always good. A divisional rival. Bears travel to Green Bay, and Green Bay's favored by 4.5.
That's probably going to be a close game.
You think so?
Where is it at?
This one is actually in Green Bay.
Lambeau.
Oh shit! we
So
should
this
see
is a
snow.
return game because they played the very first game of the season in Chicago, and
And I think we all got burned because I think we all picked Packers.
no, the Packers won.
Wait, right?
We all picked the Bears.
Yeah, the Packers. I guess we.
Oh no, I got burned because I picked the Bears.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they won. The Packers won 10-3.
Oh yeah, I remember that game. That was stupid.
Chris, you want to take the reins on this one?
I mean, I think the Bears are gonna go in there thinking that there's something special because they beat the.
They're coming off 3 in a row.
I think there's something special because they beat the Cowboys, but obviously at this point, your son could beat the Cowboys. I think every time, for whatever reasons, a lot of people still are counting out the Packers, who are still an elite team. Man, they got a great defense, probably the best defense they had in a long time, and they still have one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. So I got the Packers winning this.
Khoa?
Yeah.
Just getting flashbacks, man.
Ooh.
Because I wanna pick the Bears, man. I think they got something good going. I think they're just playing fearless right now. They're sitting at 7-6. David looking to take down Goliath, and I think.
Let me break this down to you, real quick. Let's do this. Trubisky or Aaron Rodgers?
Oh man.
Trubisky or Aaron Rodgers?
9 times out of 10, Aaron Rodgers.
In the snow.
All right, there you go. That's a smart. God damn, why did it take you so long to answer
In the
that?
snow.
All right,
I still want
Aaron
to choose
Jones?
Bears. I still want to choose
Aaron
Bears.
Jones or anybody on the offensive side.
Oh, Aaron Jones.
Right. Thank you, because you have him in fantasy. So there you go.
That's
man.
not why.
Yes, it completely
I
is.
also
You-
recognize that he's better.
All right. So
Adams.
there you go. That's the two
Adams
most important.
is the best receiver in both
And
teams.
we can both agree that at this point their defenses are a wash. 10-3. That was the first game. The defenses are a wash. Khalil Mack is probably the best defensive overall player on both teams, but still,
Yeah.
overall,
Oh, Blake Martinez has been getting me points all season.
like,
He's been my workhorse.
all right. So
He's still
who you
picking the
got,
Bears.
Khoa?
Bears.
God damn it,
Hey man.
Bears! It is. Anyways, y'all saw why I'm gonna choose the smart choice would be the Packers.
Yeah.
Listen, don't get
I
me wrong.
respect it.
No, don't get me wrong.
man, I
the
respect
Bears on a
Respect
3
my pick.
I get it, but they beat the Lions.
That's how 49er fans
basically
are, man.
fold their season.
That's how
they
49er
beat
fans
the
are.
Cowboys, who hopefully, if Jerry Jones is, has any sense, will fire Jason Garrett right after they lose to the
The
Rams.
same guy who should have been fired 3 years ago. You're right.
Oh.
Let's go.
Anyways, I got the Green Bay Packers.
Go Packers.
All right.
Go Pack go.
Sunday Night Football on NBC. Is that a plug? Is that a plug? Oh, anyways, Bills at the Steelers. Now, you might, on paper, might not sound like a good game, right? Helmets flying all over the place. I get it. But since that game, Steelers have yet to lose. And the Bills are coming off a very, very close game to the Ravens where they only lost to them by 1 score. So the Bills are sitting at 9-4 and the Steelers at 8-5. Who would have thunk it? Who you got?
Well, I think that it's right now we're getting to the point of what team is really real. What team is legitimately a real contender to make the playoffs. And I'm sorry, but that run game is shot in Pittsburgh. I don't trust their quarterback situation.
Although James Conner's coming back.
He is, but every time he comes back, he doesn't produce and he gets hurt. And I do think that the Buffalo Bills running game is solid. And I think that when it comes down to it, I think when it comes down, I think that the
He's still breaking records, man.
Buffalo Bills just have a way better defense, and I like the Buffalo Bills because to me they're one of those teams that if they make the playoffs, they can upset somebody. They're
They
legitimate.
can shake some things up.
Hell yeah! So I got Buffalo Bills, man, all day, every day.
So, just looking at their records, I look at how well they play the good teams, and I'll excuse them for a bad game, and both of them had some pretty bad games that teams that they've lost to, but then when you look at they lost to the Patriots 33-3, that wasn't too good. They lost to the Seahawks, the Niners, of course. Who am I thinking? And they lost to the Ravens, right? But then they lost to the Browns. They kind of rectified that, but the Browns is probably the worst loss that they took. Right.
Also, the Browns beat themselves that night, so come on.
But the Bills losses, they lost by 6 to New England, 1 score.
Oh yeah.
They lost by 7 to the Ravens. Ravens are on a 9-game win streak at their best.
They're a tough team.
So at the end of the day, the Bills to me have the better defense. As good as the Steelers have been able to put together a season without Roethlisberger, even without James Conner and Juju, of who am I forgetting in Antonio Brown, but what they've been able to do is commendable and great. But it just the Bills are something else, man.
And the reason why nobody's talking about the Bills in the NFL because they're not sexy. They just go out there.
Wouldn't you love to see honestly, let's be honest here. Wouldn't you love to see the Bills in the playoffs? I want to see the Sunday night game.
I think they make the playoffs.
I think they're going to show people how good they really are on this game. I got the Bills.
I got the Bills too, man. They're a good team.
Khoa? Man,
I got the Bills, man.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah. Let's go, man.
You scared me with the Bears pick, man.
Oh, we riding these Bills.
No, I like the Bills, man. And you're right, yeah. I mean, talking about not a sexy team, man. Who's been talking about the Buffalo Bills?
No one.
In the last 10 years.
Nobody.
I love where they're at. Their defense has been playing great. Steelers defense is good too, but yeah, I think Buffalo edges them out, man.
The one interesting thing that I have on this whole thing is there's two things, right? As far as if I can convince my wife to let me go ham on these bets. Two bets. The Ravens not covering 16.5, and the Steelers are favored in this game by 2 points.
Parlay it.
Hey, man, I'm the shit.
Yeah, you might as well.
Make some money off a parlay.
Hey, I'm going to see if she'll let me borrow 5 cents.
Good luck with that, man.
And, of course, the game of the week. Now we're going to move on to the game of the week. Atlanta Falcons travel to 49ers. What? Okay. That was my little personal inside joke. I had my fun. All right. We got to
I can't
really
wait if the Falcons beat the 49ers. That'd be hilarious.
Come on now. Let's be serious. The Rams traveled to D-Town, the house that Jerry built, Jerry World.
That's the game of the week?
No. I was joking.
No, I'm talking about the Rams and the Cowboys.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could be if you want it to be.
No, man.
I know, man.
That shit ain't the game of the week.
It's a Rams team, man. It's on prime time.
Rams. All right, picked.
It's not on prime time.
Rams. All right, pick my team. Rams.
Does Jerry? Okay, maybe this is who do you got? Real quick.
Rams.
Okay, I got Rams too. The Rams are on.
Damn.
Do I need to say anything else?
Rams.
But let me ask you this, real quick.
Hey, they're only favored by 1.5, by the way.
That's ridiculous.
I may do 10 cents on a 3-team parlay, 3-game parlay. All right. So,
John buying us good Christmas presents.
How
hope so, man.
How do you guys feel about Jason Garrett? And this is actually a bet I have riding on this. Jason Garrett makes it out the rest of the season if he loses to the Rams. Does he ride out the season?
I think the players have already given up on Garrett. He has no control of that team. That's the most undisciplined team. They just when I think the Houston Texans coaching staff is fucking horrible, all I gotta do is turn on the Cowboys game, and it makes me feel so much better to be a Houston Texans fan. That team is Garrett no longer has control of that team. He should have been fired this week. You're not making the playoffs.
I don't think they are either. I think that Philly's on a way up and Dallas is on the way down.
You're not making the playoffs.
Can I just make one observation? Can we please stop talking about Jerry Jones being a problem? I don't give a shit if he's a problem or not. He's not going anywhere. Dallas Cowboy fans, listen. The man owns a team. The man has put himself in to become the general manager. He would have fired a general manager that performed as well as he has a long time ago. The fact that he's still the general manager lets you know today, tomorrow, a year from now, possibly 5-10 years from now, the general manager will still have a job. Because the person that pays and his hand doesn't cramp up when he signs those checks, the person that pays the general manager is also the owner. So let's get that out the way and stop blaming it on him. Or if you want to, but that's not going to do anything. All right. So, in my opinion, Jason Garrett does not leave. He does not make the season. I don't care if it's 1 game left. I don't care if it's 2 games left. He's done.
Not if you can convince Urban Meyer to come out. That's what everyone's saying. Urban Meyer is thinking about coming and playing. And you know how he feels about college coaches. Hey, listen, Cowboys fans, you listening to me out there? I know. Pick your head up. Pick your head up. Stop crying. It's okay. Listen. Turn your Dak Prescott jersey inside out. Put it so you can see the number. I want to tell you guys something because I'm gonna give you some holiday cheer. Okay. There is hope for you guys. And there's only one way that the Cowboys are going to be successful. Actually, 2 ways. They move and play in the XFL. Or, second, which is probably going to seem really warped and horrible. So, all the comments are probably going to come my way saying I'm a really horrible person. I get it. Pray for me. Whatever you need to do. But the only other way that the Cowboys are going to remotely be successful is if your boy has a stroke and die. That's it. If Jones has a stroke and die, that's the only way that you guys are truly going to be successful.
Damn.
That's just it. Merry Christmas. Hey, you know what you need to wish right here is the official Santa Claus. Sit on his lap and tell him you want a stroke for Christmas.
No.
You want a stroke for Christmas. Because that's the only way that you're going to even remotely go back. Like, I want Cowboy fans to stop sitting there reminiscing and watching their VHSs of their championships. I actually want them to actually be able to like go on YouTube and watch highlights of them winning a championship. But that ain't happening again until Mr. Jones croaks.
Listen, that's the only thing I want you to do. When you comment this man and tell him what kind of horrible person this guy is for having us want to wish a stroke for Jerry.
I don't want to wish a stroke. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm saying for Cowboy fans.
Make sure you get his name. Spell that name right. Chris.
Or you can spell it Dick.
Cowboy fans, hey, I feel for you, bro. It's been a rough ride. No pun intended. Or whatever. Anyways,
they can't even They can't even have a rough ride. That's how horrible they are. Motherfuckers.
Christopher C. Rodriguez, DIC. K. Or did I miss that?
Nah, I had the K.
Elf on the Shelf, Santa Claus, and Mr. John Trapp, bringing you the best damn podcast in all of Texas, all of Houston, all of the U.S.
Well, at least on Fondren.
Right. H-Town, stand up. So we're moving on. Game number 5.
The real game of the week.
No. Monday Night Football, though. And
he always saves it for last.
Okay.
I like putting this one out.
We gotta be dramatic.
My bad, Rudolph.
Mathematically, the Colts aren't out, but they're on the outside looking in, especially in our division, which is still obtainable when you think about it. But the Colts are traveling to the Saints. The Saints really need this win because they just coming off a tough loss I don't want to really beat a dead horse. But, Chris, tell me why I have a feeling the Colts might do this one. Might pull this one off.
I don't know, because you don't believe in the Saints because the 49ers beat them. That's only you're still on that high.
No. I think Kobe Brissett's a good quarterback.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Jimmy G is the quarterback, the best quarterback that's come out of the Patriots camp. Can I say something real fast before I give my pick? NFL, this is why I also hate you. You should be able to change the games that come on Sunday night and Monday night. That game should not be a Monday night game.
Yeah.
You should be able to change that.
Had they not lost, the Colts not lost last week, it might.
No,
have been.
it even
they
is.
decide all this stuff way before.
It doesn't matter. You should be able to change
No,
it.
you can't flex it though.
You can't flex it, man.
Not in the Monday Night
Listen,
Football, but
nobody wants to see this game. Because let me tell you something. As good as I think Brissett is better than Jimmy G, the point is the Colts are on no level the Saints. I think the Saints went into the 49ers game and they lost, and they know they shouldn't have lost. I think they come out and I think they just really rip a new one in the Colts. I don't think it's even.
Really?
Think. Oh, absolutely. I just see the Drew Brees coming out. I see the coach just really having a coaching strategy of just going out there and just demolishing the Colts. Just because you know how it is. Like the Saints know that they are a Super Bowl caliber team. To lose to the 49ers the way they did, especially in a shootout, which anytime that the New Orleans Saints play a shootout, they should always win. Right? Because of that offense, because of the coaching. So I think they come out and just destroy the Colts. Yeah, that's
Khoa,
good luck.
You got?
Ooh, who that nation, man?
They're not losing 2 in a row, man.
It's hard to go against Drew Brees in the Mercedes
In the-
Benz
oh,
Superdome,
absolutely.
man.
It's a wrap.
I think he plays incredible there. I mean, he's had his losses there, but I don't think this will be one of them. Yeah, especially after losing to the Niners like that. Yeah, I feel like it's like they just had like a bad breakup, but they're gonna take it out on the next. They're gonna take it out on the next person that they date. So Colts are gonna get the brunt of it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm picking Saints.
I think that you actually guys are both are kind of underselling the Colts. I think the Colts are a little bit better than you think overall. Defensively as a team, I think structurally they're built better. They're more disciplined. Now, when it comes to the X's and O's, of course, Saints are going to take the cake on that one. But they also have the more talented players. Now, when the game is played, they're actually going to be right there. Even going back and forth. I don't see it a high-scoring game, but I do see it a very competitive game. I see that the Colts will be in it to the end, but this is what's killed them all year long. Their field goal kicking has been atrocious. Vinatieri just went on the IR, having the worst year he's ever had, and they're losing games by 3 points, 5 points, 6 points, and they're all because they've missed field goals. Even last week, they missed a field goal with the new kicker that they just signed off the 49ers squad, and he missed a field goal. And lo and behold, they won by 3 points. They lost by 3 points, excuse me. And I think that's what it's going to come down again. What's the line on this game anyways? Because at this point,
I think it was 9.
man, I'm feeling good about my
9.5.
Yeah, see, yeah, I'm gonna write that down. About to put 15 cents on this parlay.
So you're picking the Saints?
I'm picking the Saints.
Okay, because at first you kind of like almost after you were foreshadowing,
No.
Hey Chris, tell me why
I'm
that the Colts.
You know, I think that the Colts are better than
they.
you
I
can't
didn't
write
say
them
it's
off
gonna
just
blow
yet.
them out.
No, they blowing
I'm
them
just
out.
saying, okay, he said that.
They blowing
I'm
them
thinking
out.
the Saints will win.
All right. Let me.
Oh, when
put
the
it-
Saints go marching in.
Ooh, what?
Oh, when the Saints
Dang,
go.
boy,
they
know the whole
win.
song.
I think it might be right at the line. I think it might be right at 9 or so.
The only
42
way
to
is if
9.
They missed 3 field goals.
The score that I usually
All right.
beat Josh with on Madden, 42-9. Let's go.
Now I'm rubbing my hands. When I rub my hands, you know that means it's about to go down.
Ooh,
Game of the week. The game with the most implications going forward from into the AFC side of the playoffs. Texans are traveling all the way excuse me, to, is it Nashville, Tennessee?
Absolutely right.
To face the Tennessee Titans.
Beautiful city, by the way.
Christopher, C-Rod Rodriguez, tell me who you got.
Oh, boy. You know, I went in really hard. I went in really hard on those Cowboy fans. And I'm a pessimistic Houston Texans fan. But it's only right, since I'm giving all these wonderful gifts for Christmas. It's only right, since I'm the Grinch that stole Christmas, as of right now. It's only right that I give you Houston Texans fans a rude awakening. Your Texans are who they are. They're not better than the elite teams, and they're just enough. I guess they're just as enough good to beat the mediocre teams. They have horrible coaching across the board. And the only reasons why no one cares about that right now, because we can fall in love and continue to fall in love with, which is the best part about watching Houston Texans, which is the best quarterback in the NFL, which is Deshaun Watson. And unfortunately, we said he'd have an MVP year. He would do everything he can to keep his team winning. But because of the bad general manager / coach and his coaching staff, the Texans just can't be consistent. They're the most inconsistent team. And to be honest with you, I think that not only are the Houston Texans going to lose against the Tennessee Titans, I just think that they're going to get outcoached again. And I am just not convinced about this defense. I think Derrick Henry runs left, right, up and down on their asses all day long. Tannehill is now looking like a true complete quarterback because he's playing within his system. I think Tennessee Titans are super hungry. I said they were a dark horse. I said they could easily come out of this division because of how good they are. They're a solid team. And you know who the Texans just lost to last week? The Broncos. You know who's a better version than the Broncos? The Tennessee Titans. I can't see this defense doing anything to stop that running game. And the moment that they start cheating and the moment they start coming up defensively to try to stop that running game, Tannehill is going to destroy them. I think this is going to be an ugly game, and this might be foreshadowing what we thought the Texans would be, an 8-8 team, right? I think that if the Texans lose to the Tennessee Titans, then it comes down to them playing in Houston against Tennessee Titans if they're even going to make the fucking playoffs. And that's real talk.
Yeah. No, well, the next 3 games for the Houston Texans are going to be, 2 of those are going to be facing the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
You know, for everything you're talking about, the NFL should be able to switch up the games. They got this one right to put 2 8 and 5 teams together. The last 2 games with all the playoff implications, all the division implications on the line.
Tennessee looks tough, man.
Man, Mike Vrabel, coaching the Tennessee Titans, made that difficult decision to sit down Marcus Mariota in the middle of the season. Now I think they're going off for 5 straight games, wins, and the defense is showing up. And Derrick Henry, whew, shout out to Roll Tide, University of Alabama.
You know what it is.
Derrick Henry's maybe the best running back right now in all of football, if you don't count Lamar Jackson. But Derrick Henry is beasting. And the only thing that I've heard a negative so far is Derrick Henry is nursing a little injury, but he's, you know, we'll see. But if Derrick Henry is anything close to what he is, one of the things that I've noticed with the Texans is they're hard pressed to stop the run, and that's a bad boy right there.
Let's also talk about A.J. Brown, man. That phenomenal rookie wide receiver is killing it right now.
Ryan Tannehill is managing the game right and getting the ball to who he needs to get to. A.J. Brown is coming through. So I'm unfortunately, as far as the inconsistency with the the Houston Texans, it does not look good for them. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm hard pressed to think that they make 8-8. I think they lose. I don't want to say it because it hurts me, because I really, really want the Texans to succeed. But after seeing what they did versus the Patriots and then coming back and having a dud, it just shows everything about the mental preparation that Bill O'Brien has prepared this team for. And it just baffles me how good they can look, but how bad they can look at the same time, just on a flip side of a coin. And, man, best case scenario, they split it, right? But just as bad is it, I don't see them winning both games.
If they get, let's just say this, if they lose convincingly against the Tennessee Titans, the next game is in Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay ain't an easy win either.
Even if they win versus Tennessee Titans, I'm scared that they'll lose and throw up a dub.
That's what I'm saying. If they lose convincingly against the Titans, they're gonna go to Tampa Bay and lose that game as well. And then now the back is against the wall, and they have to win the game if they're trying to make the playoffs against Tennessee. And that's when I just don't think that this team is built to handle the pressure. And that's why you and I both, in our gut instinct, we think they're about to lose 3 in a row.
Four wins straight. Coming off of Tennessee Titans, and Ryan Tannehill has led this team along with Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans. They're playing at home, and the line is Tennessee by 3.
The original Oilers.
Man, if it's a close game, I got Tennessee.
Shit.
Damn, I know this hurts Khoa, man.
Man.
Sky, true diehard right here, baby. Man,
I agree with everything you're saying. It does not look good for us, and it's funny we see the line at 3, but it feels like it could be so much more. I still think Texans have a shot, but it just, from what they've been showing, yeah, you're right. They're great one moment and awful the next.
And honestly, looking at what the Patriots have been doing recently, can you honestly say that win was one of the best wins that the Texans have had? I think the win is only good because of who they beat, not the actual team that they beat.
It just makes it seem like it's a fluke. It just makes it seem like a fluke, and I don't want to say it because I think I was.
I don't think so. I don't think that win was a fluke. I think, if anything, you could say that our team as a whole is more of a fluke because we can't keep it up. You know what I mean? But that doesn't make that win.
I just think
no. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that a win is a win. And you and I argued a long time ago about the Jaguars and barely beating the Jaguars, and I said, well, it's like you said, a win is a win. I'm saying by them losing to a team like the Denver Broncos, it just makes it look like that win last week was a fluke. That's the sad part about it, because we know it's not, because you still have to beat Bill Belichick. And shout out to an incredible coaching. He didn't even create that play. Shout out to Hopkins and the best quarterback in the NFL right now, Watson, for coming up with a great play on a napkin and basically creating that play and putting a dent and basically putting the exclamation mark on beating the Patriots. I want to shout that out because we didn't get to do that last week. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, like we are looking, and here's what's crazy, guys. Let's talk about this right now. Let's just say they lose the next 3 games. They don't make the playoffs. What's so sad about all this is that Bill O'Brien still won't be in the hot seat. No, that's fucking bullshit.
No way. They lose the playoff. Bill O'Brien's done.
He ain't done.
That's the only way that Bill O'Brien could have kept his job is by making the playoffs. They lose this playoff in the fashion that they're about to lose, not the playoffs, but just not get into the playoff with the fashion that they are. Because remember, Mike Vrabel and Bill O'Brien came from the Patriots. Mike Vrabel was actually a defensive coach off of the Texans. Bill O'Brien hired him.
Mm-hmm.
And for your protege to go to another team, take that team and make it an 8-5 team at this point with the tough decision of getting Marcus Mariota out there and putting in Ryan Tannehill, then coming back and beat your team and showing you who the better coach was? Come on now.
I bet you $5. That's as much as I can bet.
I'm on a roll right now.
I bet you $5. I bet you $5 that if they finish 0-3 and not make the playoffs, they lose the next 3, that Bill O'Brien's a coach next year. I bet you he is.
Listen, I'll have to go to the bank for the $5, but I'll bet you 5 cents right now.
I don't even have 5 cents.
I got 15.
I got $5. I have it hidden in my sock drawer.
Let me borrow $5, bro.
You gotta go to my sock drawer. Listen, man.
Hold on.
What's up?
Let me call my bank.
No, right.
AKA, hey mom. You know what? Call me homer all you want. I'm sticking with Texans on this one.
Hey.
I think.
I hope you're right, Paul. To be honest with you, I hope you're right.
2 reasons. One, we got too many of the same picks for at least 3 of these games that we're all in for. And but I will say that if Texans do end up losing, I agree, man. I don't see us winning the 2 games after that. So this to me is like the true make it or break it. After that loss, I just hope that they get their shit together. This is already, even before the season starts, a big rivalry. Like we got us and the Colts, and then us and the Titans. I think it's a big deal. So hopefully they get their shit together. I think it'll be a close game. So I see us by 3 points our way. Texans.
Real fast, for those who have somehow managed to get into playoffs and fantasy football in this horrible season, this is a horrible season for fantasy football. There's so many people
man?
There's so many people. There's so many people that on paper have amazing teams that didn't make the playoffs because of piss poor coaching, piss poor projections, horrible quarterbacking. You can name it. There's teams right now.
To listen to projections.
There's teams right now that literally have losing records and are in the playoffs right now. Across the board, I was reading this. This has been one of the worst years in fantasy football. I mean, it's been horrible.
Crazy.
Think about Think about where Le'Veon Bell was ranked, and think about where Derrick Henry was ranked. So if you picked up Derrick Henry, you're in the playoffs. You're in the playoffs. They were talking about that. But anyways, what I want to say is that when the Texans play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week, make sure if you don't have them, go pick up O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard's going to have his best game of the year against the fucking...
That's not saying much.
Well, he's going to have the best game of his career against the Houston Texans. Guarantee it.
Save this little tidbit.
Yeah.
In your
that might win.
vault.
That might help you win the playoffs or championship, guys. There you go. Thank me.
Thank Christopher C. Rodriguez. Again, send all your hate mail and all your hate letters and all your hate comments. His name is Christopher CHRIS.
Yes, Christopher
Rodriguez.
You can go by Christopher, Chris, Dick, that short guy. I don't care. Listen,
Elf on the Shelf.
Listen, I'd appreciate as much love as I can possibly get from you Yankees fans, from you Cowboy fans, and from you cult following Texans fans who just don't want to admit the truth. Yes, we can all agree that Deshaun Watson's amazing. That's why we watch the Texans, and it is Houston Texans. It is part of the city that we love so much, but we need to stop playing ourselves. The Texans are not good. They're good enough, but not good enough to win.
This is the Sports Trapp Podcast. My name is John Trapp. Mr. Khoa, Santa Claus for today. Ho, ho, ho. We're in the spirit.
Can I sit on your lap still and tell you what I want for Christmas?
No, yeah, Jerry Jones stroke.
Damn.
Anyways.
I don't want that.
Is there anything else we need to cover? Something we forgot? Rockets and the Spurs? Or do we
What about Pinto Bean Ruiz?
Man.
Just like all beans, they become pintos. They become pinto smash beans.
He got refried.
That was...
Told you, John.
I'm a big boxing fan.
Told you,
You
man.
guys know this. I'm a UFC fan, fight fan. But that was as disappointing as a fight from a champion on his rematch that I've seen in a while. Everybody gave Anthony Joshua, the prohibitive favorite tag in this fight, but they also did it in the first fight, right? But one of the things was I honestly think that Ruiz outboxed Joshua last time. And for all intents and purposes, he still looked like the better boxer in this fight. But he was so heavy. And it bothered me so much. As soon as I found out that he weighed over 20 pounds between this fight and the second fight, I just knew his mind wasn't in it.
Chorizo and Popeye's chicken sandwich will do that to you, bro.
Yeah, Andrew Ruiz.
And it wasn't that good weight?
No,
man,
not at all.
Not at all.
Andrew Ruiz literally, I think he clocked in at 284. And that's up from, I think, 263, the first fight. My problem was, in any situation, when you get an opportunity like that, you can't blow it off. You can't rest on your laurels. You got so much to get to that point. You were blessed in a sense, and not take anything away from your talent, but you were blessed because somebody had to fail 3 drug tests in order for you to get the opportunity just to get there. But when you got there, you were prepared. Now, you had, 6 months to get fight ready? But as your dad would say, you went to go party. You didn't want to stay in the house anymore. Instead of being under the tutelage of your trainers and your father at this point, you went and bought another house in New York, stayed out there, stayed out late, going to parties. Hey, listen, man, like they say, it's hard to wake up and run when you're sleeping in satin sheets, So I get it, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see somebody ruin his opportunity. And he's over here asking for a rematch. Bro, please, you got lucky in the first fight. Not that you got lucky by a lucky punch. You got lucky that you got the fight. Because like I said, three times somebody had to fail a drug test to get kicked out that fight. And you got your opportunity. You got lucky for the first fight. And you screwed up and fucked off your opportunity for the second fight. Now you ain't gonna no goddamn rematch, man. What? I don't want to see it. Why am I gonna pay $60 to watch you fight again and fuck that off again? I'm sorry, man. That's honest to God truth. Somebody needs to tell you this, and I'm probably not the first person to tell you this. I'm sorry, man. As a Latin, Hispanic, person watching somebody that the first Mexican heavyweight heavyweight champ ever. And to watch you fuck this off, man, it's frustrating as a fan of yours. But hey, man, now on to the next, and that's the God honest hardcore truth, man. I hope you do something well with that money.
I don't think he disappointed the Latin community. I'm gonna tell you who he disappointed. I'm shocked that nobody here is even talking about this. I'm shocked that you're not, Khoa.
Right, go ahead.
Listen, in today's society, all we like to do is body shame. We're always constantly body shaming. You have to be a certain facade to be a heavyweight boxer. You got to be in shape. You got to have the muscles. You got to look like that you were sculpted in the Greek god days, right? Here comes this guy who looks like the average dad. He gave us hope. He gave us that feeling like maybe I don't have to go to gym today.
Yeah, maybe I can be pudgy.
Maybe I don't have to run. Maybe I don't even have to be able to see my dick, because at the end of the day, I could still be a champion. It's okay if someone calls me Gordis. It's okay if somebody calls me Pinto Bean. It's okay if somebody call me Fatty, because you know what? I'm a fucking champion. And guess what? We believed it. We believed in you. And you went and fucked it all up. Because at one point, being a chubby checker was cool again. Having a dad bod, not even a dad bod, having just a dad blob. You gave us all hope.
That was good.
You gave us all hope. And shockingly, you have failed us. You didn't fail a Latino nation. You failed all of us guys that are out of fucking shape, thinking we could be champions.
What you pointing at me for?
all of us, I just want to say, fuck you.
You think there are more Latino people in the world or more people that are out of shape in the world?
Out of shape.
Yeah.
Here comes the body shaming now.
Oh,
Somebody's probably
man.
gonna body shame us in the comments right now, and we deserve it, and it's all because of him.
Christopher C. Rodriguez.
P.O. Box.
R-I-S.
Man. Yo, I just telling you guys the truth, man. Come on, man. He gave us all hope. We all were like, man.
I'm gonna leave it to you, man. I'm fresh out of ideas.
What?
Any more topics? Something we didn't cover?
Hell yeah, I got some topics.
Tell me.
Khoa goes first, though.
What?
We got twat.
No, the only other thing I was gonna mention was that I've been just seeing a lot more promos for XFL, them Houston Roughnecks.
Yo, that roughneck uniform looks tight, though. Don't lie.
Yeah, man, they've
That
been
shit look tight.
promoting. They've been promoting,
I
man.
didn't see the uniforms, but I've seen the logo. And I've seen the promos,
Yeah.
but
That shit
the
look
actual
tight.
uniform itself.
So I mean, hey man, are they going to be the premier football team in Houston in the future? Because if Texans don't get it together, man, we got to root for somebody. If they're going to be winning,
I don't know. Did I tell y'all this? The only way the XFL will be even relevant is if they go get Colin Kaepernick.
They already said they're not.
Okay. All right. Well, then you listen.
why are they not getting
You
Kaepernick?
You got to understand who's running the show. Vince McMahon is a big Trump supporter, big Republican, and he has already said that this game is going to be about integrity. There's not going to be any distractions. All going to be about red, white, and blue.
Listen,
I'm just telling you guys the truth, man. I'm a wrestling fan. I know this stuff.
But he's
If-
a businessman, man.
if that's the way he wants to play this cards, just there's a reason why AEW is coming up and the WWE had to go get.
They got Johnny Manziel.
Who?
XFL is gonna have Johnny Manziel.
They're about to have Baker Mayfield too. So what? Anyways,
Damn.
shoot, man, I don't understand.
And the Cowboys.
I don't
They're gonna get the
understand.
Cowboys,
Listen, you gotta have somebody that moves the needle and whatever. Dude had a workout and he was the biggest story in the NFL for 2 weeks. Why wouldn't you go get him?
Nobody's talking about him now.
All right.
They don't
Anyways,
want that.
Chris, what else you got?
I say we get season tickets. They're probably cheap for the XFL.
I'm not going to do that.
I
You
want to
go
be a
get
roughneck.
Colin Kaepernick
I
and
want
I'll
to be
go.
a roughneck. I want to be a roughneck. Sounds tight. Sounds better than a Texan. Anyways, listen. Everybody knows I'm a big hip hop head. Love hip hop.
Oh my god!
I think hip hop
This is gonna be
hip hop is
the Uncle Heads over here.
one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. But recently, Eminem came out with a song on Fat Joe's album where he takes a few little shots at Mariah Carey and good old Nickelodeon.
Other way.
Nickelodeon decides to come out with a diss record. Now, we'll say
What?
his bars.
Did you just say Nickelodeon came out with a diss record?
Yeah, Nick Cannon. We call get with the program. We call him Nickelodeon.
Sorry, I
Now, not
Uncle
only
Hip Hop right here.
I've been
Now-
under a rock.
and his whole team is called the Black Squad, ironically, because of Wild Not. Anyways, not only does he come up with a few bars that are really just pathetic, but he gets a bunch of battle rappers that are known in the battle rapping scene.
Like who?
to-
Who's on there? Who's on there?
all those battle rappers that he has.
Well,
man.
that's
You talking about from the show?
From the show,
Yeah.
They all get on the track along with Suge Knight. Suge Knight's on this track too.
Suge Knight
Dude,
is on this track?
so if you're gonna beef with somebody, right, in the art of war of MCing, it's 1-on-1, right? But this is how pathetic Nick Cannon is. He brings a bunch of other people who have way better lyrics. They got some good lyrics. They go at him. Not only does he come up with one song, this record, but he also comes out with the second one because he wanted to do the back-to-back like Drake. He said it in there. But in the second one, he doesn't even rap. He just says a few things about Eminem. Now, you know that you have to be a god MC when you got 10 people coming at you when it's supposed to be a one-on-one.
a good point.
So now the world is waiting. Today is Thursday. The world is waiting. Will Eminem respond and destroy Nickelodeon? That's what I'm waiting for. What do you guys feel about this?
I mean, I remember we talked about diss tracks how many ever episodes back, man. I always love an Eminem diss track, and say what you want about Eminem's music, but when he gets heated in like a rap battle and does diss tracks, man, that's some of my favorite stuff coming from him. He's so creative with his lyrics and how he can verbally punish somebody and just like demoralize you. Yeah, I think it's great. I can't wait to hear what this damn track would the Nick Cannon
people
did.
are killing him on Twitter right now. I mean, they're calling him out they're calling it horrible.
I have never once respected any freestyle that he's done on Wildin' Out.
Listen,
I enjoy the show for its content, but I'm like, Nick, you always the weakest rapper here. Like, come on, Nick.
How long has Eminem been around, John?
Shoot.
1999, Infinite.
There you go. Okay.
Or 96. Oh, shit, I forget.
Listen, the one thing I respect about Eminem is the fact that he knows, he's been on record of saying that if he was any other color than white, he wouldn't have got all the hype that he received, right? But that still doesn't change the fact that Eminem has been one of the greatest MCs to ever bless the mic. Not only that, but this man has done everything he can to respect the culture and respect those that came before him. Yeah. And what I think is the most disappointing, and you're going to hear it when you listen to these songs, is that they're attacking him being white. Listen. It doesn't matter.
Real creative, guys.
Honestly, and then even had the nerve to call him Elvis Pusley. Yeah, I can't. Step your bars up, Nick, man. Seriously, I thought you had ghostwriters or something, man. Tell him to step to. You get new writers, son. Anyways, the whole point is that if
is that a diss on Elvis Presley?
Well, because Elvis Presley became famous by stealing black music by black culture. So basically, they're calling him a culture vulture. They're saying that like you're stealing black music. And I hate to tell this to anyone because I forgot what rapper came out recently. I think it was one of the Migos who said that hip hop is black music. And I hate to tell you this, hip hop is the only culture that has ever been actually rated a real culture by United Nations. Hip hop started in the Bronx, and that consisted of Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and blacks. Anyone and everyone that was poor in these neighborhoods, hip hop is what derived from these cultures. Whether it was graffiti, whether it was breakdancing, whether it was emceeing, or whether it was turntables. The point being is what I'm saying is that hip hop is the only thing that, in my opinion, is not prejudice. It allows anyone and everyone to be a part of this if you are respectful of the culture, and most important, if you are respectful of the heritage of hip hop. Anybody can be in hip hop. It is unique and it is universal. You can't even watch a Sprite commercial or a goddamn McDonald's commercial without being some type of hip hop. The point being is that if your best lines is to attack somebody for being white, that's weak. Because let's get past the fact that Eminem's white. Because he's clearly, to me, he's clearly one of the greatest MCs of all time. And I just think that it is just stupid to even diss him on that level.
That is stupid. And I'll say one thing too. Like, obviously I don't have the same viewpoint of them. And I guess, neither of us, none of us do. Like, I can't say speaking from being an African-American or black person of that culture. But, hip hop was like one of the few or the only, genres of music or cultures and lifestyles was created as late as it was, and then music specifically from other music. It was also other cultures.
Yep.
So that hip hop in itself is from sampling, from taking from old rock tracks, blues tracks, jazz tracks. I mean, it's from all over. So I mean, it's like, wait, where is this even coming from? And then also just like, I think as a part of the Asian culture, Asians are, I feel like, to me, known for appropriating culture a lot. Like, and some people may see it as a bad thing, but I just think that we love it enough to embrace it. We love hip hop enough to embrace it as much as anybody else would, no matter what their color, because we don't see that. We don't see color, So, and I think we fully embrace that if somebody can live that lifestyle, and let's say if they have that talent to be able to rap really well or produce tracks really well or you dance really well, why not kind of go full force in it? And I even take it to like the level of food. There's a lot of times where, you know, like pho, the most popular, famous Vietnamese dish, probably, you know, worldwide, right? A lot of articles in the past like year I've seen out how Asian people would be kind of mad about this different restaurant or chef trying to create their own version of it, saying this is the way to do it, and it's like, oh, that's not really that's not traditional. That's not, you know, they're like appropriating our culture. But I also see a big part of it, or a majority of us are saying like, well, I mean, they're allowed to. It's okay. Like, it's their interpretation of it. If it sucks, the public will show that. You know what I mean? Like, they won't show the love. But if it's good, we don't hate. It's like, hey, if you open up a pho restaurant and you're white and you're Mexican but you do it well and you respect the culture and where the roots came from, who am I to say that, hey, that's not a good bowl of pho? You know, you got to see it for what it is.
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
wish that people would actually see that for what it is with Eminem. And it's like, I think for the most part, I think the true people, you know,
Absolutely.
you listen to like the GOATs, and the people that have actually been in the industry and been in the game for as long as they have been, like those people aren't the one dissing Eminem.
Yeah, the Jay-Z's, the Nas's, the Kendrick Lamar's, the J. Cole's, all the greats in the past, KRS-One, Rakim, they recognize who Eminem is.
Yeah.
You know, he just so happens to be white, but that's to me, we're now going from 99 to 2020, and those are your best diss lines? Like, seriously?
It just feels like someone like bullying, not bullying, but like like a battle between like a seasoned veteran versus like just like a group of kids.
Honestly, the Fat Joe song with Dre, not Dr. Dre, but Dre, I think the producer, right?
Yeah, Cool and Dre, yeah.
Yeah, from Cool and Dre. Sounds okay. The only reason is, I mean, not to say that
Man, I gotta keep
they
up with
might
music.
not, they might excuse me, Fat Joe and Dre might have actually a good album. I don't know.
It's a pretty good album.
Okay.
Yeah, I listened to it.
That song
working
was
out to is good.
Okay. Eminem, he blessed the track,
Oh, he sure did. It was a great beat, and I love the way his rhyme scheme on that beat, though.
but it bothers me a little bit that he scooped down to that level again. Like, after so much time, y'all already had your beef. Y'all did it. Hey, he might have his reasons. I don't know.
Well, he'd been speaking about, like, Nick Cannon's brought his name up a couple of times.
But
in interviews.
here's my point. Eminem will get on any track, and everybody said he blessed that mic, right? Essentially. Name me one track Nick Cannon did that.
I think it's like the Wild Out soundtrack.
And my point is,
the intro song, maybe.
my point is,
I don't even remember
in
a
the
song by
game,
him.
When real recognizes real, you just named it. Nas, Jay-Z, the list goes on and on and on. Eminem's got it. 100%. He's real. Respect the culture. He had a faux pas early in his career. We got over that, right? Nick Cannon, to me, and him getting all these battle rappers, the fakest dude out there posing to be a rapper.
He got Suge Knight.
He paid enough money for it.
What, is that supposed to impress me? What's your street credibility that you got Suge Knight? That guy's an idiot. Suge Knight is one of the worst things that ever happened to hip hop for what he did to some of the greats like Dr. Dre, you know, and how he strong armed Tupac. We can go into this hip hop culture for days and two, but like, what do you like? If you're gonna call out Eminem for being a culture vulture or someone who's appropriated hip hop because they're white, what the hell is Suge Knight?
Now, going from that, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like I'm on this whole soapbox, and I've been saying this for a while now, but this is more and more. I've seen this in the culture. We spoke about this earlier. I feel like I'm Uncle Hip Hop. Maybe I'm not in tune with hip hop anymore like I used to be.
Uncle Hip Hop. That sounds.
But another
old.
unfortunate soul has succumbed to
Juice WRLD, man.
part of the drug culture that exists in hip hop today. And as a hip hop head that I consider myself, as a hip hop fan, I'm sad to see this be another example of the same thing.
It's an upward trend right now, unfortunately.
Listen, everybody felt bad when Mac Miller passed away, and I get that. I held back a little bit, but I kind of like, I was like, guys, y'all gotta pump the brakes on this. Like, somebody's got to wake up here. Well, unfortunately, Mac Miller didn't, and Juicy World didn't the other day. Coming off of a trip, a plane, walking through, fell down and had a seizure. Became lucid, was talking, I guess, apparently, according to the reports. But he died on the way to the hospital or at the hospital. I'm not too sure.
He also swallowed a bunch of Percocets not to get in trouble, too.
Whether it be prescribed, whether it be street drugs, this glorification of these hardcore narcotics is a problem within the hip hop community. If multiple people are dying, and it's happening often, and these are the new kids on the block that are coming up. Man, I had hope for Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Wale. Man, they were gonna take us to another. I'll even throw Drake in there. They were gonna take hip hop to another level, and essentially they did for a split second. You know, and it just seems like, I love the fact that there is music that talking about they're being happy, but this everybody's talking about drugs and death, and I get gangster rap was a part of the culture, and I get why it was a part of the culture. When art reflects the society that they're put in, I get that, and I can respect that. But is this what was the reflection now? Is this what we're getting?
Well, we obviously, because of social media, we glorify having money, doing drugs, popping pills, and you know, girls.
And I'm not one to say alcohol is bad. Alcohol is bad if you abuse it.
Absolutely.
I'm not even one to say, I'm a proponent of of legal weed, legal marijuana. I want to legalize across the board, all over the U.S. I want it to be a federal. I get it, but in anything in excess, you gotta be careful in today's society where there's immediate gratification, instant gratification, and all this stuff where, like you said, you have to glorify that lifestyle, and then once you glorify it, you are that lifestyle. Dude, man, we're selling our souls here.
Absolutely. Well, John, I have a remedy for all that.
What is your remedy? I'd like to hear it.
I think
my son's gonna grow up in this shit.
Well, I think the remedy is this. I think number one, I think that we have to, as a society, start holding these people accountable, like the radio stations, to even, you know, iTunes. If you're talking about stuff that's ultimately going to do harm to people, I think we got to stop playing the music. Like I just think it's to that point right now, because what we're doing is we're making it seem cool to do drugs, and these kids are dying at such a young age, and that's horrible. And, you know, right now, being in mental health is what I do on a regular basis when I'm not on this podcast, and the epidemic of opioids is surreal. It is crazy right now. So many people are addicted to drugs, and it didn't start off of just being drug addicts. They start off people who are just giving a large amounts of painkillers, and they become addicted, and now they can't get those pills anymore from the physicians. They're out there doing heroin, and people are popping all these pills, and they're running away from things in their lives instead of actually embracing and finding better ways to have a healthier life. And I think that we just got to start holding each other more accountable. And don't get me wrong, addiction is rampant. You can be addicted to all kinds of things: alcohol, porn, weed, you know. But if you are, and I want to end this on a positive note, if you are going to be addicted to anything, you need to be addicted to the Sports Trapp podcast. There you go. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If you're addicted to us, we will never let you down. We will only give you the rawest, true. We'll give you good energy. We'll make you laugh. We hope to make you laugh. And most importantly, we'll give you something to debate about, talk about. You might listen to us. You might hate me. You're probably going to hate John the most. You're probably going to think Khoa is cute. The point being
is... Make sure you spell my name right, though.
The point, ASS, that's his name.
Most common name in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about your last name?
So most importantly...
That's so hard, right?
Most importantly, Khoa. Sexy Khoa. He's single, by the way.
QH.
Ready to mingle.
Get the...
You
Hey.
like both or girls? What do you?
I think.
Oh, just girls. Just girls. Sorry. We got
What
to
are we
the
talking about right now?
we got to the 49ers thing. I just got confused. Anyways, I saw John 49ers. I got confused. Anyway, the point being is this. I want to say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. Whatever floats your boat or whatever makes you happy. The most important thing is just don't take for granted what God has given you as far as your family or the people that you surround yourself with. It's easy to take for granted everything. Even this podcast, we've all, myself, I've taken for granted some of the most important aspects of this podcast and what it does. And then just sometimes talking about these things kind of bring you full circle to make you realize that, like, just take the time out, embrace it, enjoy it. And most importantly, continue watching the Sports Trapp podcast. I personally want to wish everyone a happy holiday and hopefully that you have a safe one. And most importantly, just to tell you thank you. So
I second that. Thank you so much for.
Of course. I will still be here. I mean, it's not quite the holiday yet, so hopefully we're able to get another episode out before Christmas and.
Maybe do one under the mistletoe.
All right, that's
the mistletoe.
What can I say? I'm blessed to have these two. Bless the mic. They are, as they always do. I appreciate you guys most first and foremost, and thank you for your support, everybody out there. And keep throwing them likes, keep throwing the comments. I really like the support everybody gives, the comments that make me, make my day. They really do. Khoa, thank you again.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah.
Anything else?
One last message for the Yankee fans. Guys got cold, but you guys can jingle my bells. Bitches.
This is the Sports Trapp Podcast. My name is John Trapp. This is CHRIS.
Spell it out
Rodriguez.
For them. Spell it out for them.
QHOA. Mr. Khoa. And my name.
I'm just going to pretend he spelled
Trapp.
that right.
John Trapp.
Yeah, I'm impressed too.
TRAPP. And I will see you next week. Guys, I'm out.
Peace.
Yeah.